afternoon, everybody. We're here to preview tomorrow's Europa League fixture against AZ Alkmaar. Please use the microphone provided, and we have Deborah available if anything is translated from Dutch. Jeremy.
Yeah, hi Ange. We didn't see Sonny at training this morning. Is he okay? And is there any other injury news?
No, the one's missing today. Sonny was a bit sore after the weekend. He was never going to be involved tomorrow anyway because he missed a bit. So we're just leaving him out of tomorrow and see how he is from there. Jed, Spence trained individually today. Everyone else was out there.
Troy Parrott's coming back to Spurs, having only left permanently in the summer. He was here for 7 years, only played a handful of games and none under you. How do you reflect on his time here? And did he get a proper chance?
Yeah, look, I think it's good to see Troy doing well. I think he had a great loan spell last year in the Dutch league, and he's looking like he started his AZ career in positive fashion too. So it's great. In terms of getting a chance, that's sometimes football's just about timing. We've got a striker here, mate, that was at Chelsea and Liverpool early in his career. He's done all right since. So I think there's a pathway forward for everybody.
Hi, Ange, how are you?
I'm good, mate.
As you already said there, Sonny was bruised a little bit after the weekend. It was quite a feisty game, certainly in the second half, quite a battering game. Spurs have been fined today for their players not being controlled in the melee, which led to, after Kudus was sent off. Just in general, sum up for us whether that was what you'd like to see in terms of your side, or what you expect to see from your side.
I don't know if that's an accurate description of what I saw. I mean, there was obviously that sort of incident with Kudus, and apart from that, I don't think it was that feisty a game. I don't think there was too many cards outside. I'm not really sure what we did wrong, apart from, there was a coming together, but I mean, I think, a couple of our players had hit the deck by then, so you'd like to think that we'd go in there and at least protect. I thought our players controlled themselves, but obviously, the FA felt differently, but I didn't feel there was anything edgy in that game at all, just a player who maybe lost his composure for a second, Kudus, which I think is not really like him anyway, from what I've seen him as a player, but it happens. And for the most part, I thought there was a fair bit of restraint there. If there was anything more, there's plenty of video evidence to charge players with. So, but I guess the look of it's not great, but I don't think it was anything untoward.
And in this competition, made a great start so far. In terms of that, I mean, are your team maybe a well-set European team? In terms of Premier League is very different to European football.
Yeah, look, we've started the competition really well so far. Different challenges in both games. Obviously, the first game at home, we had a player sent off in the first few minutes, which provided its own unique challenge for us. And then whenever you play away in Europe, like we did in the last game, at French Varos, again a different challenge. We've exposed especially some of our younger players to European football, which I think is a positive, and you see growth from that, and we want to continue that. Again, a good challenge tomorrow. AZ, good side, and from our perspective, particularly here at home, a good opportunity for us to continue our form.
Hi Ange, I've noticed you're taking a lot more short corners this season. I think it's around 38% at the moment. Just wanted to know what the thinking was behind that.
Same as anything else, mate. We think it's an effective way to kind of look at set pieces. Nothing too scientific. I think it sort of falls in line with our game plan of trying to control those kind of situations. Fair to say on the weekend, especially first half, our set pieces were really poor. We were all disappointed with them. More around the delivery than anything else, because if you don't get the delivery right, it's not great. But when you have I think we had 12 corners in a half of football, shows how dominant you are, but we didn't really use them to any effect. So, something we need to improve on.
With Richarlison just returning to fitness, is he in a position to start tomorrow?
Yeah, I think Richie got through the weekend really well. He's trained. It's almost the second week of training now, and he's ready to go in terms of being available for sure.
Wilson Odebear as well. He's back in training. chance of him getting some game time tomorrow?
Yeah, potentially. Again, we've just got to be a bit more careful with him because obviously he's missed a lot and he's only had sort of this week of training. But we'll be involved tomorrow in the squad. Yeah, game time will be a little bit game dependent, I think, with him. But good to get him back, and certainly, you know, after this week, should be fully available.
Thanks, Ange.
Thanks, mate.
Question in ESPN Netherlands. How many questions did you ask Micky van der Ven about AZ, or did you already know everything about AZ?
I think I know more about Dutch football than Micky van der Ven. He was in Germany. He was at... No, look, I know AZ really well. I know Dutch football really well. Australia's always had a strong connection with Dutch football. Yeah, so I've always followed it very closely. And AZ, you know, we played AZ when I was at Celtic in the Europa League a couple of years back. So always a good side, really good at identifying young talent. There's also a bit of a Japanese connection there because I followed them closely. I mean, when we played them last time, Sugiwara was there. Now he's in the Premier League, and we've got Maikano there now. So I've always followed Dutch football and AZ, so we know the information we need.
Sorry. So you follow Dutch football a lot. Are you surprised that Micky, he was born in the region of Alkmaar, has never played at AZ? And the second question is, how do you look at his developments at the national Dutch team, and do you talk with him about that?
Yeah, look, you know, obviously with Micky, you know, fair to say he kind of developed late but very quickly, because I think even at Volendam there was a period they were unsure about him, but you could tell once physically he grew and the kind of player he was, his journey went very quickly. Obviously, Volendam, and then you know, the year he had in the Bundesliga, he adjusted really well. And then I thought for us last year he was outstanding for his first year in the Premier League. And obviously he had an injury which yeah, kind of set him back a little bit. But he's growing all the time. He's maturing. I think you know he'll become more of an influence at national team level. He's now, you know, he's played a couple of games at left back, at left centre back. So and I think for him, the more he plays with the national team, I think it'll give him even more belief. But you know, he's going very well, and I'm sure he'll be important. He'll definitely be an important member for our team, but also for the Dutch national team.
Ange, how much of your personal footballing philosophy being influenced by Dutch football, thinking back even back to days of total football back in the 70s, and what do you like best about it?
Yeah, no, great influence. You know, kind of the whole sort of total football era was kind of when I first, you know, sort of fell in love with the game, and 74 World Cup, probably the pinnacle of total football, was also Australia's first time in a World Cup, mate. So at 2 a.m. I was up watching a grainy black and white TV, and fascinated by yeah, by the way the Dutch went about their football. You know, Johan Cruyff, I think, was a genius in many respects, not just as a footballer, but as a football thinker. So yeah, great influence, and then that sort of filtered into Australian football. We've had Gus Hiddink, who took us to the next World Cup, and many Dutch coaches have come through there. So yeah, it's been a strong influence in you know, a lot of sort of my thinking. You know, people talk about my high line, but watch the Dutch in 74 and you'll see something even more radical than me. So I've got a bit of a way to go.
Just to go quickly back to the FA charges, from what you're saying, do you expect to be let off, seeing as it was two of your guys on the ground and one of theirs going?
I think we've been fined, haven't we?
You have been fined?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Not me.
Yeah, yeah. But, okay.
The club, yeah, no, I think we've got a fine.
So that was a mistake then?
What was a mistake?
Being fined for... Is it just something you're moving on from here?
No, we've been fined. All I said was I just think we handled it as best we could, but obviously the FA thought it wasn't a good look and has fined us for it. But yeah, that's all. Yeah.
Fair enough, thanks.
Gentleman in front, please, John. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'd say it's your ambition to play Champions League next season. Is it? Would you rather get there by winning the Europa League or by ending in the first four in the Premier League?
what happens next year will happen next year. What our ambitions are, to obviously do well in this competition, and where that takes us is kind of secondary to us. Trying to do well in the Europa League. We weren't in Europe last year, and I think we missed it as a football club. It's important we're in there, and when you're in there, it's important you make an impact. So that's where kind of our ambitions lie. We've started the competition well, but still a long way to go. Both in the group stages and obviously in this knockout stages. There's some very, very good football sides in this competition. So, one step at a time for us. We want to have a good performance tomorrow night and like I said, continue our good form in this comp.
Okay, we'll go, if you could pass the mic to Rob, and then we'll finish with George at the back after Rob, please.
And just to follow up another question, did you ever have a chance to manage in Holland? Were there any offers in your career to go there? And I know you were very close to Puskas in your time in Melbourne. Did you ever meet any of the Dutch legends from '74, like Cruyff or Rep or Niskins, for example?
No, I didn't really have an opportunity. I got to know, and I still know John Van Schip really well, who's part of that Ajax kind of folklore, the greatest sides, and he spent time in Melbourne, and great guy. I've spent some time with him. He ended up coaching the Greek national team too recently as well, and like I said, I've always had ties with people in Dutch football. Han Berger, who was a technical director in Australia for quite a while, and the late Pim Verbeek, who spent time. So, I think all legends, in their own way. Like I said, a real strong Dutch influence, both in Australia, but also for me personally, and always loved, like I said, Dutch footballers. I've always followed it keenly.
Finish with George at the back, please.
Hi, Ange. It's the 20th anniversary of Bill Nicholson's death today. He left Spurs in 1974, so I don't imagine you would have seen much of his Tottenham team. But kind of how much have you learnt about him since you've been here? And I guess he was manager 50 years ago, but his legacy stands the test of time. Is that kind of a source of inspiration as well when you talk about making a mark somewhere?
Yeah, absolutely. And I've often said when I fell in love with the game, not just playing it. So I've always, from a young age, had a real keen interest in history and club histories and great players, but I always had a real fascination with great managers, and he was certainly one of them. And you always measure that, obviously, by the success they have is one sort of fairly obvious way to look at a tenure of a manager. But like you said, legacy is much more important, and he's one of those figures like very few who's left an indelible mark that will always be here, because it wasn't just about winning, how they won, the way he carried himself, the kind of person he was. Those kind of things I often say are far more important than the achievements. And he's left the ultimate legacy, really, because I think in many ways how the club is defined and wants to be defined is very much the qualities and the values that he brought. Like I said, 20 years since his passing, but certainly time has not diminished his influence, and you feel it, even to the present day.
Do you see a lot of similarities with kind of how your team wants to play, and I guess the way that I think his famous quote is, if we foul, we want to foul aiming high, not succeed aiming low. That sort of feels like it fits with yourself. Yeah,
look, I think there is. I've said before, I feel like there is a synergy between sort of, what the club aspires to be and sort of who I am and what I've been. So I think it certainly helps me, because I kind of, when I'm sort of unwavering in my belief going forward, I like to think it's aligned to what the club wants. I'm not sort of, going against the grain, so to speak.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's issue like when the Mary Hall in the 878 World Cup then.
Yes. Yeah. 78.
That was one I first remember, 78.
Yeah, it was a good one. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, hi Micky. Interesting game on Saturday, particularly the end of the match. You were booked and Kudus was sent off. Today Spurs have been fined for not controlling their players. Can you just explain what actually happened and what that game was like to play in?
Yeah, what happened in this situation? What I can remember is that I had a duel with Mohamed Kudus, and I fell down on the ground, and I had the feeling that he kicked too much through on the ball. He tried to kick the ball, but he hit me like twice, 3 times. So I was a bit mad in this situation. I stand up and I grabbed him and punched. No, not punched him, pushed him. Yeah, sorry. And I pushed him, and yeah, then the situation happened that from his side, he literally punched me, and he punched me in the face, and I went down. And then, to be honest, I didn't know what happened afterwards. I didn't really saw it back or really saw what happened afterwards. But yeah, that was the situation. So yeah, if the FA says that we need to get fined for this, yeah, that's not how I think about it. Like, I think it will be a different situation, but yeah.
You're having a great season, and you're being hailed to as the fastest player in the Premier League. You've been clocked at 37 kilometres an hour, faster than Holland, faster than Martinelli, faster than Solanke. Where do you get your speed from, and how much have you had to work on it? When I was young, I was also really quick, to be honest. I was also really fast, and then when I get older, I get more tall, and I start getting struggles with running. So that was the moment that I really trained on it, and really, like, you need to run properly. Like, I don't know how to say in English, but I was so tall and everything looks like slow motion, and so that was the point that I was really like training on it, and then the speed came back. But it was like since I was young, I was also really fast rate, so it's not really something that I've trained on.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Ange Postecoglou, every week we speak to him, he talks about obviously his philosophy, that high line. How much enjoyable is it to play as a defender with that high line?
Yeah, I really enjoy it because I have the speed also to recover a lot of big spaces. So yeah, but I also really enjoy like the offensive football we play, like high pressing team. I think also like if you want to play high press, you need a high line because otherwise the distance between the attackers and the defense is gonna be too big. So yeah, I really enjoy being playing in this high line and playing this offensive football.
And it's a long time since Spurs last won a trophy. Is there a feeling in the dressing room amongst the players that you're getting closer to ending that hoodoo, that 15, 16 year wait for a trophy?
Yeah, of course we want to win a trophy. I think that's something we all want, and we're all working for every day, hard over again. And are we still in our tournaments this year? So yeah, we're gonna do everything about it to win a trophy. Yeah.
Hi Micky, great to speak with you. You've been at Spurs for over a year now, and I think you did a recent interview where you described the past years as kind of going incredibly fast. Your manager's just been out here, and he said last season you were outstanding for the team. Why do you think you've acclimatised to the Premier League so quickly?
Sure. What's really the question?
Yeah, why do you think you've acclimatised, settled into to life at in the Premier League so quickly?
Yeah, when I came here, to be honest, also the guys were really important for me. So they were straight from the beginning when I was here. I also started, like I think I trained 3 training sessions and I started again. I started already. So the guys were also like really important for me and gave me the trust. And the gaffer also gave me the trust that I have the qualities to play in this team from Spurs and to play on this high level. And I think from the beginning this helps me a lot also. And yeah, since then everything went well, and they keep trusting me. So also when you're a player and you have the trust, you play more free and you feel more free, so I think that also helps me a lot, yeah.
Micky, you told the Spurs website there's a restaurant in Alkmaar called The King, which is your favourite steakhouse. Can you tell us about that? And presumably your discounts will be on the line if you play well tomorrow.
Yeah, the owner of this restaurant is a good mate of my dad, so my dad he lives in Alkmaar also. So yeah, I think they're AZ fans, to be honest, so for me, yeah, I don't think I get the discounts if I play well tomorrow, because then probably we beat them. So yeah, we're gonna see what's gonna be, and for us it's a really important game for tomorrow, and hopefully we get the 3 points.
Hi Micky, just wanted to ask, what do you think's the biggest area of improvement that the team's made this season compared to last season?
Like this season, I think we have more control of the games. Like last season, you also saw in a lot of games that we lost the control a bit. Like also when we lost the ball, we quite open, and every time we get a lot of counter attacks. And I think we control the game now more, and we know more better positions for the players, and I think players help each other more than maybe we did last year. So I think these are a lot of points we have improved on, but there are also a lot of points we can still improve on, and we work for every day.
Hi Micky. Dominic Solanke's come in this summer and made a real impact in the team. What is it like defending against him in training, and what difference has he made to the team?
Yeah, Dom is doing unbelievable since he's joined here. He's working so hard. Even as a striker, you see offensive, defensive. He keeps running the whole game. Like every time I'm watching it, I'm like, how are you even doing this? Like keep sprinting on this intensity every game over again. And yeah, also I think he's getting his goals, he's getting his assists. So he's really important for us, and hopefully he can keep playing like this for us, because yeah, he's a really important player for us.
Hi Micky, can I just ask you about your assists against Everton and Manchester United? Is that something that's instinctive, just driving up the pitch with the ball, or has Ange talked about you doing that more in matches?
Yeah, I feel free to run, to be honest, to do what I want, because the gaffer always tell us like what pops up in your mind you can do. Of course you can do like shoot from midline every time, but when he thinks like you have the trust in the situation you want to do it, you can do it. And at this point I was just like, I saw the gap. Like against Everton the pitch was open because Everton was attacking and we were defending, and against Man United I also had the same. I just saw the gap and I was thinking like, okay, if I start sprinting now it's going to be difficult for the defenders to stop me. And yeah, and in both games it was a good finish also from Sonny, and now Brendan was at the right spot, so yeah, that was really important also to get the assist.
Can I just check just quickly your version of the events from West Ham? Do you think it's fair Tottenham have been fined?
Yeah, it's difficult to say, of course. My reaction is also not good, and I was also a bit mad, so also from my side it was not really good, but I think it's from both ways, so yeah, it's a thing that FA just said, so I don't really have something to say about it.
Just ask you another thing. Ange just said how much he's based his philosophy on Dutch football. Does it feel like playing like a Dutch team here?
Yeah, Dutch teams like to play football, like playing out from the back. So yeah, we do exactly the same with Tottenham. So yeah, they always said like, even when I was in Germany, they always said like it's the Dutch school. So yeah, playing from the back, keep playing football, but most of the time what they also say like about the Dutch school is that we're playing football but we don't like to run. So we're just playing football, but when we go to the defensive part you see people are just maybe shocking a bit and not really running. So that was the only difference. But yeah, I really enjoy playing here for Ange.
Dan gelijk maar even in het Nederlands, Micky.
Ja.
Goedemiddag. Je trainer zei net, nou ik hoef Micky niks te vragen over Nederlands voetbal, want ik weet meer van het Nederlands voetbal dan hij. Klopt dat?
Ja, dat denk ik wel, ja. Ja, dat denk ik wel. Onze trainer die heeft wel echt heel veel verstand van voetbal. En dat zie je ook zeker in de meetings die hij geeft en hoe hij tactisch naar het spelletje kijkt.
Ja, geboren onder de rook van Alkmaar. Heb je een speciaal gevoel bij AZ? Is het morgen een andere dag?
Eerlijk gezegd niet. Ik heb niet echt een heel speciaal gevoel met AZ, eerlijk gezegd. Ja, het is nu dat toevallig mijn vader in Alkmaar woont. En dat is het enige gevoel dat ik nu bij Alkmaar heb, is dat mijn vader woont. Maar voor de rest heb ik echt niet heel veel gevoel met AZ of met Alkmaar.
So the first answer was yes, I think so. Our manager has a very good understanding of the Dutch game. He also looks at the game in a very tactical way, in a similar fashion. And then answer to the second question, I don't really have a strong connotation with AZ. It's just a coincidence my dad lives there, but I don't necessarily have a strong connection with Alkmaar.
Top. Die korting blijven regelen. Daan is ook een vriend van mij, Micky, dus dat komt goed.
Dat is goed.
Kan je toch iets vertellen over, want voor de regio is het toch opvallend dat jij eigenlijk nooit bij AZ hebt gespeeld. Hè? We lazen dat je er stage hebt gelopen als tiener. Kan je vertellen hoe je dat hebt beleefd, waarom dat bijvoorbeeld niet door is gegaan? En snap je dat heel veel mensen denken van, hoe kan het nou dat hij nooit bij AZ heeft gevoetbald?
Ja, dat begon inderdaad wat u heeft gezegd. Ik weet niet eens hoe oud ik was. Ik denk dat ik 12 was inderdaad, dat ik toen stage bij AZ heb gelopen. En dat ik toen uiteindelijk ben afgewezen en toen eigenlijk naar Volendam ben gegaan. Ja, ik moet zeggen dat in de jongere jaren heb ik ook altijd wel twijfel geweest bij Volendam. Dus dat zijn ook niet de jaren geweest dat alles heel goed is gegaan en dat alles top ging. Alleen eigenlijk is AZ toen gekomen sinds het jaar dat ik toen doorbrak bij Volendam. Dus het eerste jaar. En dan is het natuurlijk heel mooi als jonge jongen dat de clubs als AZ en dan andere grote clubs in Nederland om de hoek kwamen kijken. Maar voor de rest, ja, het is natuurlijk heel lastig te zeggen. Omdat van, ja, ik heb vroeger bij AZ moeten spelen. Het is raar dat AZ mij vroeger niet heeft gezien. Want ja, ik weet van mezelf ook dat vroeger wel echt mindere kwaliteit had dan dat ik daadwerkelijk nu heb. Dus ik ben eigenlijk wel vrij laat op stoom gekomen, zeg maar zo gezegd.
Ja, heb je nog wel zeg maar, vrienden van toen die nu wel bij jou in de lijnen komen omdat je tegen AZ speelt? Of ben je er zo ver van afgegroeid inmiddels dat dat ook niet meer het geval is? Maakt dat het dan misschien speciaal voor mensen om je heen meer dan voor jou?
Ja, misschien is dat het wel inderdaad. Dat het voor mensen om me heen een wat specialere wedstrijd is. Ook omdat het natuurlijk een Nederlandse club is. Natuurlijk heb ik ook wel wat vrienden die AZ supporten. Maar voor de rest heb ik er zelf eigenlijk heel weinig mee. Wat u zegt ook, ja, voor mij is de wedstrijd gewoon eigenlijk zoals elke andere wedstrijd. Het is natuurlijk leuk dat het een Nederlandse club is en dat ik wat jongens ken van Jong Oranje ook. Dat is natuurlijk wel leuk, maar voor de rest, ja, wat u zegt, ik denk dat het voor mensen om me heen een meer specialere wedstrijd is omdat het een Nederlandse club is.
I did play as a teenager for AZ, and your question was how come, I did stay at AZ. I think I must have started around, I was about 12 years old when I was at AZ. At the time I was being turned down and I moved to Volendam. In my younger years, I think even Volendam had some doubts as well. Now, of course, when I was playing at Volendam, AZ did come and see me when I broke through. It was nice to have AZ and other teams to come and have a look, but it's I don't think it's odd that AZ didn't really see me because I don't think I had the qualities that I believe I have now at that time. I think I was a bit of a latecomer. I came on steam a bit late. And then answer to the second question, maybe I think me playing against AZ tomorrow night is more special for the people around me, not so much for me. Of course, I have friends who support AZ, but for me it's like playing against any other team. Of course, I do know some of the guys who play for AZ that I know from the national team.
And we'll finish up with George.
Hi, Micky. You just spoke then about sort of the team wanting to win trophies. The manager last month, after the Arsenal defeat, come out and said that he always wins trophies in his second season, and he thinks that you guys can. How much sort of belief does that give you players, especially after a defeat, that he's coming out and telling everyone that he still thinks he can achieve this season?
I think even if the gaffer didn't say this, we still had the same belief as a group. So we know our quality and we know we have some unbelievable players in the team and we have an unbelievable group of players. And yeah, we all trust in the process and in the system the gaffer wants to play, and we all trust in each other, and we know we can achieve some beautiful things. And yeah, what I say, hopefully we can win a prize, and I think that's a big thing for us. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Cheers.